There once lived a man who showed great potential, but in his quest for glory, the bulls did not like his credentials. Alone and afraid, the man lived for a year, but then along came a team who needed someone to cheer. From being the problem to now showing people how to drive, he now sits comfortably as the best driver in 2025. His name is Alex Albon. I am completely blown away by Alex Albon this season, and I had to make a specific video exactly on him just to show exactly how good he is. So sit back, relax everyone, as I show you some of these incredible stats he's had this season and what I think is to come for Alex Albon. So let's start off with 2025 alone and his stats. This year alone, bear in mind, in a bleeding Williams, he has 11 points finishes out of the 16 possible races that we've had. That would be only 2 less than Lewis Hamilton in a Ferrari and 3 more than Kimi Antonelli, who's in a Mercedes. And hey, even putting him into context with the rest of the midfield teams, the next best driver is Isaac Hadjar with 7 points finishes. And Carlos Sainz's teammate is even worse. He's at 6. Albon almost has double Carlos Sainz's points finishes in F1 this season so far. And bear in mind, Sainz's top 10 finishes compared to Albon's top 10 finishes are nothing as well. Better yet than all of this, he now sits 7th in the championship. I was mentioning a little bit about Hamilton and Kimi Antonelli. Well, he sits sandwiched in between them now. He does have more points than Kimi Antonelli. He's sitting on 70 points overall. And this puts him absolutely clear of the next midfield driver in Isaac Hadjar on 38 points, and he's in 9th. Basically, you need 2 Isaac Hadjars to get an Alex Albon in what you're getting at Williams right now. He's had an average race finish of 7.85. Again, showing just how brilliant he's been. His average finish is in the top 10. Again, for a midfield team that cannot be understated. Not even a top 10, but top 8. There are 4 big teams in F1. And for him to be 7.85 in finishes, that is incredible. Not only is this the best of any midfield driver this season so far, but it is also his best in his career, bar the Red Bull days. Get this, right? Get bloody this. Williams since 2022 have scored 53 points overall. It's not a lot, is it? Well, Alex Albon has 70 points, like I mentioned. He clears their last 3 seasons of results and over by 17 points in less than 1 season. Bear in mind, he's only 6 points away from that tally being Williams' consecutive points from 2020. You add 1 more point extra and it's 2019. Literally, this season, the only thing he is missing is a podium. This is the little cherry on top we need for Alex Albon this season. We need just 1 more Brazil 2024 type race, and he needs to get in there a little bit more than he has, because this season so deserves a podium for him. But even without this podium, like I've mentioned, there have been some outstanding drives. More on just the point finishes that I mentioned. Yes, he has 11, but coming back to this point, he's never finished when he's in the top 10 below 9th. So Sainz, yes, he may have 6 points finishes to Albon's 11, which makes it seem a little bit closer. But Sainz he's never got above 8th place. Whereas Albon, he has 4 5th places in Australia, Miami, Imola and in Zandvoort. We talk about how consistent George Russell has been this season in the Mercedes, and he has been incredibly brilliant in that Mercedes. But let's not forget about Alex Albon for 1 second, because my oh my, that sort of consistency in a Williams is ridiculous. Talking more about consistency, and we're talking about consecutive points finishes, he's had 2 separate runs of 3 races in a row of getting points finishes right at the start of the season in Australia, China and Japan, and then he's actually on one right now as well. But he's also had 4 consecutive points finishes in a row as well, all the way from Jeddah to Monaco. He really is just breaking records at Williams that just have not been touched for a very long time. He's even led a race. It wasn't for long, of course, but he led a race in 2025. Williams haven't done that since 2015. That's been 10 years since they've even had a chance to be sniffing around the top close enough to when one of the front runners have a pit stop and they're still out for them to be leading a race. But then for me, out of these standout drives, it has to be the back-to-back Miami and Imola drives that have impressed me the most. I honestly can't tell you which one I prefer, because Imola in itself was an absolutely splendid drive. But again, you could say the same for Miami. Both times he was battling with the Mercedes, with the Ferraris, with teams realistically Williams should not be near, and he's putting that car there. However, just in general, those two races were beautiful to watch, and I guarantee any Williams fan out there would have been absolutely loving their lives for those two race weekends. And I guess that brings me back to my final little thought before I go into the what's next for Alex Albon. And it ties in beautifully from what I've just mentioned about Carlos Sainz, where he's absolutely dominated Carlos Sainz. From starting this season, where everyone was like, ooh, is Carlos Sainz going to come into the team? Is he going to become the #1 driver? Can Alex Albon hold his weight to a driver that's proven himself at big teams like Ferrari? I mean, they weren't big at the time, but even still, McLaren. And my oh my, has he done it. Carlos Sainz is sitting all the way back in 18th with 16 points. He's 54 points ahead of him on that. I mean, you even look at their head-to-heads. And on qualifying, Carlos Sainz is holding his own against Alex Albon 8-8, which is what you thought you would see. But then on the race, Albon's race pace in that Williams is just incredible. We saw it actually in Monza, I'll get to in a second. But Albon has 11-4 in favour of him in races. That is just insane. And I mean, like I mentioned, we saw it in Monza where he went long on the hards, and even in my head I was like, surely by the time he's finished on those hards, he's going to be running out of tyres, they're going to be pitting him, and he's going to drop back out of the top 10. No, absolutely not. He had blistering pace, and yeah, he didn't have any issues with people getting in the way. However, to be on the hard tyres for that long when people are pitted and still come out in front of them, sensational. Alex Albon has been nothing short of absolutely incredible this season. And for me, I even mentioned from Spain to Silverstone, Nico Hülkenberg was the best driver in 2025 in that brief period of time. But if we're talking about the entire season, I think the biggest standout drive for the whole grid has to be Alex Albon. What a driver he is. And it's so shocking that no one else is looking into him. Yes, I'm looking at people like Mercedes. Yeah, it would never happen, but I just can't believe he's not looked at anywhere else. I'm happy for Williams for keeping him. Of course, that's brilliant for the Williams fans, brilliant for Williams as a project, but wow, he deserves another try at a top team after that kind of dreadful stint at Red Bull. Sort of like Pierre Gasly. I find them in two very similar positions right now. So I guess the final thing I have to say is, what's next for Alex Albon? Well, earlier in the season on this channel, I talked about how this could be Williams' chance to score over 100 points in a season for the first time since 2017. Not only does it look like they are going to do it with ease, but Alex Albon is on the verge of breaking that himself. Not only helping Williams to their best season in a while, but potentially getting to his best season, because he only needs to beat the low 100s in points to outbeat his Red Bull days. And my oh my, does it look like if he continues to bag points like he's doing right now, he's going to be able to do it. And hey, I said both Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon were both drivers who could get 50 points, potentially a little bit more, in the Williams. Carlos Sainz is slightly underwhelmed, and Alex Albon has overperformed drastically. What an achievement this season has been, and what a season he can look back on with so much pride. And that's why I really do hope that he gets that special key highlight from the season, like a podium. But hey, we've still got 8 races to go, lots of mayhem to happen potentially, who knows. But you know me, I've had my Nico Hülkenberg podium, now I want my Alex Albon podium, because that would be absolute scenes. And hey, unlike Gasly, where he's in the Alpine, it's not really going anywhere, that project. I'm so much more excited about Alex Albon. I feel like those two drivers are in very similar positions in their career right now, and Albon is in such a better project with James Vowles' Williams compared to Gasly in the Alpine. So hey, let's see exactly what Williams can give us in 2026. Let's see if Albon can continue his form into 2026. Can Carlos Sainz catch up to Alex Albon? Not this season, but potentially go toe-to-toe with him in 2026. Only time will tell. But thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care, everyone.